Hi, Shahjahan. My name is Ellen, and I'll be correcting this essay for you today. I'm happy to see that you've gotten an essay correction with us, and that we'll be giving you feedback to help you prepare for IELTS. So let's take a look at what you wrote here. This is the essay about ex-prisoners. So let's see what you said. Although many prisoners have record to be a good citizen later, they are the best persons to be a mentor to demonstrate the consequences of the crime to youngsters. I am a strong advocate of this approach, is that the consequence of the crime is committed by people who have gone through difficult time in the process of imprisonment, although they can play a role of mentor to discourage youngsters to involve in crime. All right, so there are a couple of things that I like here. I like this. I am a strong advocate of this approach. That's nice. So you made your position clear, and you made it clear in a nice way using some nice vocabulary. And I also like that you used a grammatically complex sentence here. Now, that said, there are problems in this introduction, and they are primarily related to grammar. A lot of the grammar in this paragraph was pretty inaccurate, so it was difficult to follow and difficult to understand exactly what you were trying to say. And some of the structures were inappropriate. Okay, they were inaccurate. Let's see. So here, although many prisoners have record to be a good citizen later, here it's a combination of both grammar and vocabulary. So I think what you mean to say is, although many prisoners have been found to become good citizens later, and then if that's what you're saying, and it doesn't make sense for you to use although here, because these aren't contrasting ideas, okay? So they've become good citizens, therefore they are the best persons to mentor youngsters. So I didn't agree with this choice here of although, because it's used when we want to contrast two different ideas. I didn't really see these ideas as being different, okay? So let's see. They are the best persons to be a mentor to demonstrate the consequences of crime to youngsters. All right, up to here we're fine. I am a strong advocate of this approach. This didn't really make sense to me. The crime is committed by people who have gone through difficult time in the process of imprisonment. Yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then again, they can play a role of mentor. You already said that up here. So, and then here, to discourage youngsters from becoming involved in crime would have been grammatically correct. So there are some problems with this introduction, okay? Let's take a look at the body paragraphs now. I don't like to commence with. It's a little unnatural, so you could have just said to begin. That would have been fine. Or, seeing here that you wrote secondly, what would have made even more sense was for you to actually have a firstly. You're not supposed to use firstly or secondly without the other one. All right, these go in pairs, so you should use them together. So let's start like that. Firstly, every year, involvement with various crimes caused, it should be causes because it's every year, so it should be present tense, causes many people fortune to deal with their lives in the prison. Spending time in prison, they meet other prisoners to share knowledge and how they feel about committing crime. To illustration this, during the time of performing a crime, persons do not aware of the consequences of the crime. They feel not only guilty for themselves, but also they put their family into a miserable situation. Furthermore, after realizing their guilt in the prison, they become a good social person. No, they become a social person after all. They would be better person to be a known in the field of crime worlds who can share knowledge to youngsters about the consequences of the crime. All right. So, again, there was a lot of inaccuracy with the grammar, a lot throughout the paragraph. It was consistent. There were a couple of times where I wasn't really sure what you were trying to say, so there was a loss of coherence. And I also can't really say that I agree with the order or the development of this. So the question is asking you, do you think that these are the best people to talk to youngsters? I really felt like your whole paragraph was talking about the time prisoners spend in jail, the people they meet, the guilt that they feel. All right, great. Well, why does all of this make them the best people? Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you said they become a social person. That is not the appropriate expression here. A social person is a person who likes meeting people, who likes talking to people, who likes going out. So, a lot of this is really inappropriate. Okay. What did you say here? They would be better person to be a known in the field of crime worlds. I didn't understand that. In the field of crime worlds? That was a little confusing. So there's really a lot of incoherence here, a lot of inappropriate vocabulary and inappropriate grammar. Okay? And here, I mean, yeah, the whole paragraph is like that. So let's move on, okay? Secondly, many criminals have positive records to be a decent citizen after imprisonment, and they can be an inspirational figure to the young people to discourage them doing crime. All right, here I understand what you mean, but there are little grammatical fixes that I want to make. Secondly, many ex-criminals have positive records of becoming a decent citizen without that S after imprisonment, and they can be inspirational figures to the young people to discourage them from doing crime, or even better, committing crime. Okay. Many young generations are now involved in drugs as well as shoplifting to get the money for their addiction. For example, many young children have been dropping out of school, say it, every year, the reason being that no proper guide from school and other institutions. Okay. After imprisonment, these people become good citizens. Get rid of the A and just add an S. And could be a most knowledgeable person to encourage the meaningful life about, okay. And could become knowledgeable people to encourage a meaningful life and discourage others from committing crime. Okay, so I really feel that other than grammar and other than vocabulary, which I think I've explained, has a lot of errors. This is something you really need to work on here, okay? I mean, we can help support you with that, but I think there's work that you need to do in order to improve your overall language level, okay? Now, apart from that, I also think that you really need to understand the information and the order, the structure of how to appropriately put your ideas together. It's really missing here. I feel like you give me a lot of background information, and then the very last sentence of your paragraphs, that's where you're giving us your main idea. I'd like to see this reversed, but this is stuff that we can talk about if you sign up to the online course. It'll give you all the information you need on how to do this. So let's quickly look at your conclusion. All in all, from what has been discussed above, all in all, from what has been discussed above, comma, a prisoner can become a good citizen and a mentor for today's youngsters, although they spent most of their time in prison. All right, you really need to put a full stop here. So full stop here. Although they spent most of their time in prison, they gained various lessons through imprisonment, which can be greatly beneficial for the young generation today, no comma, to make them understand the wrongdoings that have led former convicts to prison. Okay. So yeah, that's fine. We got rid of some of the grammar mistakes, so now you know what some of them are. I didn't correct all of them because really there were a lot throughout the essay, but I wanted you to just see what some of them were. So that's pretty much my feedback. I do see that your grammar and your vocabulary, primarily your grammar, really needs a lot of work. I don't know what score you're aiming for. That would be some interesting information to have. But I definitely think you do need some support with your overall language level. And of course, we're here to help you prepare more specifically for IELTS, okay? So I want to wish you lots of luck. There'll be information in the email on how you can continue working with us. So it'd be nice to hear from you again, and good luck to you.